Tonight, I'd like to share a meditation Gatha with you. A Gatha is a short poem. It's often used in Vietnamese Zen, Vietnamese Buddhism, and this one was taught to me by Thich Nhat Hanh. It's one that he's used a lot to help people, introduce people to meditation and what meditation feels like. So a Gatha is not just any poem. It's a poem that brings us to a state of truth, a state of reality, in case we forget. It's like a reminder. If we forget what truth is, we get lost in our thoughts, lost in our dreams, lost in our ideas and our concepts. The Gatha can bring us back. It can use words to bring us back into a state of truth. And so this Gatha is, I'm gonna do one phrase of this Gatha at a time. Instead of give you the whole thing at once, I'm gonna do one phrase of the Gatha at a time and let it sink in. So I want you to listen to this Gatha with all your attention, really. Just put all your attention and feel what it feels like. Feel what these words feel like in you, what these do to your consciousness, your state of being. So the Gatha begins like this. And you say this to yourself. So I'm going to use the word I, but I refers to you saying this to yourself. You are the I in this. I have arrived. I am home. That's the first part. I have arrived. I am home. What does that feel like to you? I have arrived. I am home. When you say this to yourself, I have arrived. I am home. So you've arrived home. Where is this home? Where is this home that you've arrived to? So the second part of the Gatha answers that. In the here and in the now. I have arrived. I am home. In the here and in the now. Now often when we do this Gatha, we do it with our breath. So in the in-breath we say, I have arrived, silently to yourself. I have arrived. In the out-breath we say, I am home. On the in-breath, in the here, in the out-breath, and the now. We want to let this take care of our thoughts. So at the moment that we're saying this, these are our only thoughts. I have arrived. I am home. In the here and in the now. So try this. Try this with your breath. I have arrived. I am home. In breath, in the here and in the now. This is not just for beginning meditators. It can be used throughout your life. If you've been practicing for 60 years every day, this is just as good for you. In case you forget, it brings you back to the experience of what it's like to be truly home, to be truly in the here and the now. I have arrived, in breath. I am home, out breath. in the here, in-breath, and the now, out-breath. And there's more. On the in-breath, I feel solid, solid, solid in here and now, not distracted. On the out-breath, I am free. I feel solid. I am free. Because when you're meditating, when you're in deep meditation, you're solid like a mountain, unmovable, unmovable by distractions, by these thoughts that come up, solid in this present moment, and free, free of distractions, free of anything that can pull you away. I have arrived. I am home. In the here, in the now. I feel solid. I am free. Of course, you're always free. But when you recite this Gatha, you realize it. You realize your essential inherent freedom that's always been here. And the last part of the Gatha, it's short. The last part of the Gatha is, in the ultimate I dwell. Breathing in the ultimate. Breathing out, I dwell. So this Gatha brings you from wherever your mind is, if it's distracted, all the way to enlightenment. The ultimate is enlightenment. The ultimate is truth. The ultimate is the unconditioned mind, your essential nature, your true nature, your true being. The ultimate is enlightenment. Something that's always here, not something special, but what's always inherently and essentially true. Beyond your thoughts, beyond the dream and illusion of your thoughts. The truth of life, the truth of you. In the ultimate, I dwell. So this Gatha is to remind you of what truth is, to remind you of what you are, to remind you of your essential nature. We've all spent most of our lives being distracted by our conditioned thoughts, our programming, to believe that we are a separate person and a certain type of person who's sometimes a victim, sometimes a failure, sometimes not good enough, but always limited in some way, some limitation, limited to this body, limited to this mind, limited to this identity, limited to our name and form. So the purpose of this Gatha is to remind you what you truly are, that you actually have never been any of those things. You've never been a separate person, separate from all of existence, alone in the universe. That has never been true. I have arrived. I am home. Home in reality. Home in now. I have arrived. I am home. In the here and in the now. In the here, in this present moment. Not in the past or future, not letting my mind distract me and pull me into some imaginary future or some regrets or memory of the past, but right here in this very moment, right now, right here and now. I have arrived, I am home, in the here and in the now. And because I'm aware that I'm present in the here and now, because I'm aware of this, I'm fully aware of this, I feel solid, solid in this presence, and I feel free. I recognize this inherent freedom that's always been here, that my mind has distracted me from. And when I realize this, when I realize my inherent freedom, my inherent solidity in my true beingness, I dwell in the ultimate. I'm in the ultimate. I experience enlightenment. I experience truth, reality, God. In the ultimate, I dwell. Breathing in the ultimate. Breathing out, I dwell. So a Gatha is something that you repeat to yourself like a mantra while you're meditating. Or anytime. While you're driving, while you're working, while you're shopping, while you're distracted by your mind. You can even do this if you're watching a movie on television or the news. You're distracted by what's going on. You're pulled away from reality, from your essential nature, from this unbounded peace, bliss, and love that is your nature. You're worried about what's going on in the world and stuff. So you're distracted from your inherent being and the truth of life, the miracle of existence itself. You're pulled away from this and into a mind of problems and suffering and challenges and a separate self. So while you're watching this, you can try this mantra too. I have arrived, I am home. In the here and in the now. Because even while you're watching a movie or the news, you are here and now, aren't you? You are home. You can never not be home. You can travel all over the world, but you've never left this home. You've never left here and now. Nobody can. No matter how distracted our minds are, no matter how much we're not aware of it, we're always present. In the here and in the now. And even in the midst of looking at the news and being distracted and pulled away and suffering and seeing problems in the world, if you do this Gatha, it will bring you into this place of great freedom. I am solid. I am free. Because you are. No matter how distracted you are, you've never not been free. In the ultimate, I dwell. And yes, you can never not be in the ultimate, no matter how distracted you are by worldly problems and thoughts and illusions and dreams. You've never left the ultimate. You can't. Nobody could. You've never left truth. You've never left your enlightened nature. So like any meditation practice or Gatha, it's a feeling. You practice this until you feel it, till you deeply experience it. I have arrived. I am home. How wonderful is that? To not be distracted. To realize that you've always been home. Always. No matter what you think has gone on in your life, you've always been present. You've always been now. You've always been home. Sometimes people, when you go away to school, to college, and you've been living with your parents, and then you're no longer living with your parents, and you can feel homesick. I want to go home, I'm lonely here. But the truth is, wherever you are, you're home. That's reality. You're always present. You're always in the here and now, no matter where you go. You can travel from one end of the country to the other, or the complete opposite end of the world, and yet you're always home. You're always home. Can you feel this home that you can never leave? This home of freedom, peace, happiness for no reason at all, unconditional love, this home that's your true nature. In the here and in the now. This is the miracle of presence, the miracle of being present, where everything is a miracle, because it is. Everything is sacred and holy, because it is. This very moment. The here and the now. And if you practice this mantra and feel present, you feel solid, undisturbed, and absolutely and completely free. There are no problems here. Those are just of your mind. This is reality. There is no suffering here. No matter what was going on just a few moments before in your mind, seeing terrible suffering and pain and illness and whatever else your mind is going on with. Depression, despair, anger, grievances. Here, home, there is none of that. There is only this peace beyond understanding. Bliss for no reason. Unconditional love. Love as your true nature. In the ultimate, I dwell. And we all dwell in the ultimate, don't we? This is truth. We think we're living in a world of thought. We think the things that we perceive in the world are in the world and not in our mind. Not simply our conditioned interpretation of the world and ourselves. We've been taught to believe that it's real, what we think. So we're distracted from reality. Few of us ever even experience reality at all, because our mind is so distracting, it's so conditioned, and it distracts us from just being, which is how we experience reality, simply being present without the interference of thought. I have arrived. I am home. In the here, in the now. I feel solid. I am free. In the ultimate, I dwell. In the ultimate, I dwell. By now you should know this Gatha very well, but I will write it down. And when I put it on Facebook Live, and I'll write a little description on Facebook of it. And also on YouTube, if I share it on YouTube, I'll write a description. I'll write the Gatha out. I practiced it for 40 years, so I pretty much remember it. But if you've never heard this before, it'll be nice to have the words written down. And I suggest that you practice with it. Practice with your breath, your breathing, and the words of this Gatha. No matter how busy your mind is and distracted with problems, it doesn't need to be all the time. You can take a moment to live in the freedom of your true nature, of reality. You've given so much attention to this dream of your thoughts, so much attention to what you believe is true, and so perceive it as true. When the truth is, we don't see the world. The world is beyond what our thoughts think of it. It has nothing to do with our thoughts whatsoever. So when we wake up, we're free of these conditioned thoughts. We don't see the world that way anymore. We see the world through presence, through simply being. Things simply are as they are. That's it. We don't know what that is, just in each moment. This is it. This is home. I have arrived. I am home. In the here and in the now. I feel solid. I feel free. In the ultimate, I dwell. In the ultimate, I dwell. We don't know what the ultimate is. Don't think you have to understand what the ultimate is. Even though I say this is enlightenment, you don't have to know what enlightenment is. Nobody knows what enlightenment is. Your true nature, the enlightened nature, is beyond thoughts and words, so there is no mental knowing of what enlightenment is. It's the absence of mental knowing that is enlightenment. It's the absence of the conditioned thoughts that is enlightenment. So your very nature, your being itself, that's enlightenment. There's nothing that you can say about it or think about it. Everything you think about it is just more attachment to thoughts, more trying to understand the world through thoughts. It hasn't worked so far, has it? For anybody. Reality is far too much for a thought to be able to limit it. Far too wonderful, far too miraculous. So when you let go of your attachment to thoughts, you experience reality. You experience what is. And you don't need any thoughts about it. You let go of that addiction, that habit. In the US, there's a big problem with people being addicted to opioids, addicted to different drugs, addicted to alcohol. But the true addiction throughout all humanity is to thoughts, is to our conditioned thoughts. That's the real addiction. That's the biggest problem that humans have. It's the cause of all suffering. The ultimate is simply freedom from that, a direct experience of reality, which happens as soon as we're free of our thoughts. We're always in reality. We're always in the ultimate. We are not separate from it, nor have we ever been. Just as the sleeper who's, dreaming in bed while dreaming, the sleeper's always been in bed dreaming. Doesn't matter what's going on in the dream. It doesn't have any effect on the sleeper. That if he dreams that he's on the South Sea Islands on a beach, he's still lying in bed, sleeping. If he dreams he's on top of Mount Everest in a snowstorm, he's still in bed sleeping. Because he thinks he's on Mount Everest, the sleeper in bed doesn't suddenly end up on Mount Everest. He's not. It's just a dream. It's an illusion. And the way we see the world through our thoughts, all of it is illusion. All of it is complete illusion. There is nothing that we can say about reality, about the world, about who we are, about anything. We do. I'm saying things, but none of it's true. Truth is the ultimate. Truth is home. Truth is here and now. Truth is what you are, your true nature, beyond all thought. I have arrived. I am home. In the here and in the now. I feel solid. I am free. In the ultimate, I dwell. Thank you, my friend. I hope this is helpful for you. I know it is if you put it into practice, if you use it. Many thousands of people have used this Gatha for a practice. I hadn't really thought about it for quite a few years, but I just recently came across it again, and I realized it is this state of enlightenment. It is this state of awakening. It is absolutely this. So it's far more powerful than it may seem. And every word of it is true. Whereas your mind is filled with thoughts that are not true. Every word of this is true. You have arrived. You are home. You're arriving in every single moment home. You're always home. In the here and the now. You're always in the here and now. And when you realize this, you feel this sense of solidity, of this completeness, complete fulfillment, absolutely nothing needed whatsoever, just absolutely fulfilled, absolutely content, absolutely complete. And you're free. You've always been free. In the ultimate, you dwell. We all dwell in the ultimate. It's just that so few of us ever directly experience and realize this. But that doesn't change the fact that we're all here. That we cannot be anywhere else other than the ultimate. The ultimate is reality, is truth. We are all the ultimate, and none of us are separate from it, nor are any of us separate from each other or anything else. It's all the ultimate. We don't just dwell in the ultimate, we are the ultimate. We are all the same ultimate. I have arrived. I am home. In the here and the now. I feel solid. I am free. In the ultimate, I dwell. So again, you practice this like a mantra, and you practice with your breath. Breathing in, I have arrived. Breathing out, I am home. You're just reminding yourself of what's true, of what's really true. Breathing in the here. Breathing out, in the now. Of course, in the here and now. Where else could you ever be? You are present in the here and the now, always. And when you realize this great sense of peace comes over you. You experience this great peace and this absolute completeness, nothing missing. This wonderful happiness, just because you are. I feel solid. That's your solidity. I am free. You've always been free. No matter how unfree you've felt, you've always been free. If you were locked in a prison cell, you've never not been absolutely free. In the ultimate, I dwell. Right now, where else could you be? Your thoughts can tell you many things. You're not in the ultimate, you're not enlightened, you're not any of these things. It could argue with this, but the thoughts are not true. They're just distractions. They just create suffering for you because they're not true. They're in conflict with reality. They're in conflict with life. And that's where the suffering comes from. Life is absolutely so incredibly much better than what your thoughts tell you it is. And whatever thoughts you get from reading spiritual texts that make things seem better than what you thought, it's still nowhere near as good as the reality of being itself, of truth itself, which is beyond all thoughts, even the most beautiful thoughts. And that's the ultimate. You don't only always dwell in the ultimate, you are the ultimate. You are the absolute. You are enlightenment itself. Thank you, my dear friend. I hope this serves you well.